Okay, this is part 2. So I've sewn the front on. I've got a nice crisp V. How to do that is do like a little a guide stitch first. So guide stitch, not a stretch stitch, just a straight stitch. Go into your V. Check it from the front. If it's all good to go, then you can go back over with your permanent stitch. I clipped the underside, as I mentioned that before, didn't I? Clipping the underside. I've then put the other side of the facing on. What I didn't mention, because dog was barking last time, is because the pattern mentions an interfacing, but we're not doing a woven. But I do want to stabilise this strap because I think this is quite a flimsy lycra, and without something to stabilise it, I can imagine the strap would roll in on itself at the seams. So what I've used is a power mesh, which is almost corsetry. It's you get it from all the dance suppliers, and it's a body mesh, but in areas where you need structure, and I've used it here as an interfacing. Other thing on the pattern, people complained that they found the strap very hard to turn through, and I suspect that was probably because they didn't have a tool to do it. So what I'm going to show you is this tool. It's called the Dritz Quick Turn. Comes in 3 sizes. This is quite a wide strap, so I'm going to use the widest. You poke the tube up to the end, and this is why you need to have the end sewn over. I've just done a long straight stitch because I'm going to take that out. The pattern does mention doing this as a permanent stitch and clippings, but again, that's probably because they are anticipating that you're going to be using a woven fabric. And then, say, once you've got your plastic tube down, you then poke your wooden dowel back through. There we go. I'll just keep pulling on that. You see how it pulls through? And I have turned that through now. So all I need to do now is take this out. The tube will come off, and dowel will come out, and this will take a bit of wriggling to get it flat and to get it straight. That's 1/2 done. So I'm just going to repeat on the other side. So see, it's angled to make it easier. Tube into the end, wooden stick, poke it through. Take wooden stick out, and it was that quick. So what I need to do now is a lot of wriggling about just to get that as flat as I can. And we're nearly done. The next part is I have to secure the last piece of facing. and the pattern suggests a stitch in the ditch, which I'll show you at the sewing machine in part 3 of this strapped construction. Yeah, it shows that actually you just flip that over, you keep that as a raw edge, it won't show on the front, and a stitch in the ditch, which is literally a stitch in that groove, and it will catch the wrong side, and that will be the last piece of the strap. So before I go, I'm just going to tell you what this is. This is flock, and what flock is, it's like a mesh, but it has a velvet flocking on the top, so it's kind of velvet over a stretch mesh. You could use that on its own, but I've backed it with a white lycra, and it's the first time I've used it. I bought the end of roll from Chris and Clover for this particular material, and yeah, quite thick. It felt, sewing it felt even thicker than normal velvet, and I think that might be because you've got areas where it's, you know, it's a thin mesh, and other areas where it's quite thick in those ridges. So it felt quite thick, but it's interesting. Yeah, and I think it will make a very nice dress when it's finished. So that's as far as we've got so far. The next thing I'll do is the stitch in the ditch. Bye for now.